Hi, I'm Annie, and I just found a new English word. I hadn't heard of this word before, and that is anachronistic nostalgia. And this is some sort of nostalgia where you long for a time which you never knew before, or in which you never lived before. Like you have a group of people that had, I think they are called historical enthusiasts who live like in the past, like for example the 1920s, and they live without modern technology, without central heating and such things. You have to enjoy that. I enjoy the comforts of the modern times myself, but I admire these people, but that is an entirely different story. But reading the Kaiju Film, a critical study of cinema's biggest monsters by Jason Barr, I get the impression that a lot of people who enjoy these kaiju films like Godzilla and the whole Godzilla family and other big Japanese monsters, they have some sort of nostalgia. Well, you can read this book for Giant Ape-Ril because it is April and it is still Giant Ape-Ril. And this is a reading event that is hosted by Roy over at Roy Reads Anything, co-hosted by Duncan at Backaway from the Donkey, and co-hosted by me also. And you can read about big apes like King Kong, the Bigfoot and the Yeti, but you can also read about other giant monsters like Godzilla, for example. And so I read the Kaiju Film, a critical study of cinema's biggest monsters by Jason Barr. And this is a really in-depth, well-researched non-fiction book about the Kaiju films, mainly the ones made in Japan, but also the ones made in America. But the first ever kaiju film was King Kong. And that was an American film. But when I think of a kaiju film, the first kaiju film, I thought that Godzilla, which was made back in 1954, was the first kaiju film. But this was the first Japanese kaiju film. So the Japanese took their whole idea, took their own spin on the kaiju, the big monster in film. And they started this Godzilla franchise, which is still going on up to today even. There is Godzilla times King Kong, the New Empire, and you can see this film now in the cinemas. And this is really, I've seen the trailer, it's really spectacular. So I intend to see that film for Giant Ape-Ril. Were the King Kong films mainly made in America, there were also Godzilla films made outside of Japan. There was, of course, the Japanese franchise of Godzilla, but the Americans also make Godzilla films. But they are definitely different, as the American kaiju films, not only King Kong but also Godzilla, you have this one character which is constantly maintained in every film. It's the same character, whereas Godzilla in Japan, the Japanese Godzilla, is every film Godzilla has a new character. So, for example, in one film, Godzilla is the friend of the Japanese and defends the Japanese. But in another Japanese Godzilla film, he could very well be the enemy of the Japanese people. So that is really, really interesting. Well, this and many more interesting things in this the Kaiju Film book by Jason Barr. You can read all about the history and such things of the Kaiju film. And I found it very, very, very interesting. I can highly, highly recommend this well-researched book that's not only about Godzilla but also about other monsters like Megalon, Gamera, Gaius and Mothra, to name a few. I had never heard of these big monsters. Must admit, I have never seen a Godzilla film either, but this book really makes me curious about them. So, how about you? Have you seen any kaiju films? Are you participating in Giant Ape-Ril? Let me know in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.